Welcome back to Unrattled, where we shake off our past parenting mistakes and stay engaged with our kids. Every family has seasons where they're just trying to survive. Seasons filled with unexpected diagnoses, grief, financial stress, unanswered questions, and moments when you're just not sure how you're going to make it through the day, much less be the parent or partner you want to be. But what keeps a family moving forward isn't having all the answers. It's choosing each other again and again. This week's episode features two very special people, Ronnie and Venus Thomas. They're educators, entrepreneurs, parents, and partners who openly share the highs and lows of their family's journey. From childhood trauma and infertility to miscarriages, medical scares, and learning how to reconnect after years of simply surviving. I've spent some time over the years getting to know them, and they're wonderful individuals in their own right. But together, they're phenomenal. Their story isn't one of perfection, it's one of persistence. It's about learning to apologize, making time for your relationship, asking for help when you need it, and remembering that taking care of your family also means taking care of each other. Whether you're listening while navigating a difficult season or simply trying to stay connected in the middle of everyday life, I hope this conversation reminds you that you're not alone and that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is to keep choosing the people we love. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Unrattled, a podcast for parents. We are here live at the Gulf Coast Early Childhood Summer Symposium. And today I want to talk about teamwork and managing this parenting thing as a team. So I brought in two of my favorites. We've become like family over the years. Ronnie and Venus Thomas.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome to Unrattled, our traveling show we got here.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Likewise.
It's even better for me, coming back to have my baby with me.
That's right.
So, thank you.
He was here last year without you, and probably everybody's question was, "Where's Venus?
Yeah. It was.
Where's her lovely products and all the things?"
I got that this year. It was like, "Oh my God, you're back!" I'm like, "I'm back. I'm here today."
But at least you were missed.
That's true. That is very true.
Yes. He's such a showman.
He is. I told him he's like the face of the business. Like,
but obviously not.
Listen, I mean, he is. Everyone knows. I know your husband with the red glasses. Like, he's sitting over here.
Yeah. That is that. Yeah. So, Ronnie, you do fun, weird science. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit else about what you do.
So,
what? And you got a lot of hustles.
It's a lot. I
love it,
right?
though.
And I attribute it to my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
She instilled a impeccable work ethic. Like early in our marriage, that was the issue in counseling. He works too much. When I thought that there was something that was ornery, I grew to realize that my presence and being available was more important than the money I was attempting to bring in. But yes, family and friends, my name is Ronnie with Fun Weird Science. I am a 25-year plus educator with an impeccable, deep passion for science and STEM education. And my life's mission is to travel the world and spread the good news of making learning fun.
I just knew you were going to do, I'm Ronnie, I'm fun, I'm weird, and I like science.
I'm Ronnie.
It's coming.
I'm fun. I'm weird, and I love science.
That is the best. I think about that every time.
I forgot. I should did that last time. I'm in the moment, man. I don't have a script. I just, whatever comes to my mind in the moment.
I mean, that was a great script.
Unscripted.
Unscripted. It was great. So Venus, tell us about what you do in your daily life besides mom. Wear the mom hat.
Besides the mom and the wife hat, I am in
Those are big.
Indeed. I am in corporate finance. I've been in corporate finance for 23 years.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
I have a full-time job.
I thought it was handling him and like all the things. You have a whole other full-time job.
I wear multiple hats. Yes, I wear multiple hats. But yes, I'm in corporate finance. I've been there 23 years. I started my business, 365 Body Love, as a love for my children, our children. Like most parents, one of our children had really, really bad, severe eczema. We did the whole traditional, maybe it's the milk, maybe it's the allergies, maybe it's the detergent, maybe it's air, whatever, right? We did the whole series, and the pediatrician was like, hey, I'm going to give you a topical steroid. This is going to work. And it did temporarily. However, there were some long-lasting results, which ended up making me feel like I've got to figure out how do I heal my children's skin naturally. I'm sure most parents can relate. You're going to follow the pediatricians, and nothing against pediatrician. I still promote going to the doctor. But
go to the doctor, people.
Go to the doctor, people. Right.
Pay the copay.
But also understand that what works for one child doesn't work for the other. And also realizing, too, what are triggers. And that fast forward also propelled me into where I am with my business today. I started off, like I said, as a family brand, which we still are a family brand. But then as my business grew, I really realized that there were parts of me that needed wellness. Right? Because as a mother, I was caring, not just for Ronnie and the kids, but also neglecting myself.
And your body's changing.
And my body's changing. Hence, Perry's here.
I know Perry really well.
Perry and I are not getting along. No. And it's to the point where it's like this wonderful normal skin that I had now has become dry and itchy. Then there's the adult eczema, adult itching, and you're like, what's going on? I've not changed anything. I'm using the same stuff I've used all these years. And so like I was telling one of the customers, I was like, it's so important that we also hone in on how we're doing, not just mentally, but physically. And so I always share that my retirement plan is to do therapy. My background is in clinical mental health therapy. And I know you're like corporate finance, clinical mental health therapy.
Connect those dots for me.
Connect those dots. Well, let's just say my dream is to be a therapist. However,
you got to pay the bills.
You have to pay the bills. And I am promoting that you should be licensed. You should be licensed because you do not want to cause harm.
No.
And the last thing you want to do is to further propel someone over the edge.
Absolutely.
As a conduit of I'm just helping them out. I don't believe in giving therapy to my friends. I will give you my opinion, but not from a therapeutic perspective.
Mine always comes with a disclaimer.
Right.
Now listen, this is what I would do.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's a great point. That is a great point. And so my desire is to bridge the two, the therapy and the wellness piece together. So, and when you think about 365, I wanted something that we could enjoy every day or experience every day. Hence 365 Body Love.
I love that.
Thank you.
And so what I love about the times that I've been around you guys and see you guys is how much you support each other.
Indeed.
Like whether it's on a Zoom call and you come in, you're like, hey, and you're talking about, I'm going to pick up so-and-so to do this. And, and he's like, I got this. Whatever. I love how you guys seem to work together so well.
Yeah.
Has this always been the case? Has it been a journey?
It's been a journey.
Yeah.
I think anyone who's been in a committed relationship, whether it's long-term or a marriage, there are ebbs and flows.
Sure.
And you're really, while a little bit about us, although Ronnie and I have known each other since middle school.
I heard that last night.
Yeah. His stepsister introduced me via a picture in the 7th grade. And
she was choosing everybody.
Our grandparents and parents were very old school, so we were not allowed to date, much less talk on the phone. So there was no social media. We didn't even have a pager yet. So it was just one of those things where
drop-offs.
And that was much, 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 much later, where we were allowed to see each other on the weekends on the front porch or in the living room on the couch with my grandmother watching Jeopardy, all my children. Whatever the soaps were that
on the
time.
Couch with the grandmother.
2 hours. 2 hours. That was all. But what I think that did was it allowed us to really get to know each other without having the adultish, if you will, right?
Right.
The relations. And so I think that really helped us. But then once we got married, that's a different component because people think, well, I've known you all my life and this is the old Venus and this is the old Ronnie. No, this is a different Venus and this is a different Ronnie. Yeah. And so we had to get to know each other and also understand our quirks, our happiness and knots and ins and outs and how do we bridge the two together. And so It wasn't always easy, but I think we've just evolved because we are two ordinary people just trying to do unordinary things together as a husband and wife.
I'm with it.
So do you guys,
people.
What are you saying?
That was the John Legend popped in my head. Ordinary people.
Now listen, I'm going to tell you kudos to Mark because he got me John Legend concert tickets
Okay.
for my birthday.
Yeah.
And it just so happens to be our anniversary too.
Congratulations.
In April. It was in April. We went to New Orleans and saw John Legend. He did good on that one.
Great job, Mark.
Yeah, great job, Mark. He got some pictures of me. I was like, what is happening? Like, I was just starstruck.
That's what's up, man.
You know, not many artists you see can, they look as good as they look on camera, and they can move as good as they move and sing. And I was like, oh, he real. Like, this is special here.
That's how Venus feels about Kim.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love Kim. Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
So Kim, if you're watching this video,
exactly.
got a fan here.
She swear you were singing to her at the concert at Chastain about 15 years ago.
Yeah. He pointed to
And
me.
you said, I see you, girl.
Yes.
She swear you were talking to her, Kim.
She's probably right. She's probably right.
Indeed.
So have you guys, let me just ask you this, because, you know, parenting is hard. And did you come into this with different views on certain things? Like, whether it's like discipline, or do your kids have to finish the meal before they get up from the table, or we're going to go to church together you know what I mean? There are certain things that like you grow up with that you find yourself doing with your kids. And you don't even really kind of question them sometimes. You're just like, no, this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any like disagreements or different views on things, or were you synced from the beginning?
So I think that we were never just completely synced. There was some compatible. There was some foundational ideologies that we both had. Right, we both came from childhoods that had pros and cons. Neither one of us grew up in a 2-parent household.
So that was important to you.
So making sure that we provided a 2-parent household for our children was definitely something that we knew was a non-negotiable.
Right.
I think along the way, we have adjusted, we've grown, our perspective has changed in many areas of parenting. But I think, you know, and you please chime in, my love, I think we both have always embraced, you know, one thing that Venus says a lot, you know, there's no manual that comes with being a parent.
Correct.
So we know that at the end of the day, that what we're doing is in the best interest of the child. So if we make a mistake in our approach, if it's yelling and if it's some words that, you know, offend, we're never too big to say, I'm sorry.
That's a big one.
You know,
because I didn't hear that growing up.
Yeah, neither did I.
And neither did I. As you know, my parents are here. They were never married.
Ronnie shared a little bit about your story, which I mean, please share as much you're comfortable with, but I think it's beautiful. Like, it's such a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And I know it probably wasn't always beautiful. Like, I know there are moments that were, I can't imagine. Well, actually I can. My grandparents raised me. My parents divorced when I was 2, and they both went off and lived their own life, came in and out as they wanted to. So I was essentially, you know, abandoned as a child. And that's what I felt. And I still carry it as an adult. So being aware of that, you have to intentionally, you know, I want my kids to get the healed version of me.
Right. But I think it also
The
shows
best
up
that I
differently
can.
too.
It does.
Because while I didn't have the traditional background and my grandmother did raise me, I experienced childhood trauma. And I carried that trauma
We do.
into,
No.
I carried that trauma into my marriage and
Same.
into parenting,
Same.
right? Subconsciously.
Yes, of course.
Not trauma into hurting my children, but just maybe becoming overly protective, right? Because you're like, oh no, this happened to me.
Yes.
You know, I want to make sure that it doesn't happen to you, right? So you don't really allow your children to grow and breathe and experience things because in the back of your mind, you're like, this is going to happen.
You want to protect them.
You want to protect them. And then also too, you made me think about abandonment. Like I think about no one prepares you for when your child graduates from college.
It's a whole different thing.
No one prepares you for when they graduate from high school. No one prepares you for when they're transitioning from middle school to high school, because we have 3 kids. So we're going through 3 seasons of parenting, and each and every one of them is different.
It's bittersweet.
It is.
I think that, you guys have seen Jonathan around here. I had Jonathan when I was 19. I was a kid.
Yeah.
So we grew up together. And I have a lot of guilt about a lot of things. And, mom guilt, parent guilt will get you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I understand what you're saying. And seeing him, it's like, I love the relationship we have now that he's 29. And at the same time, I grieve the baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed.
It's bittersweet.
Indeed. And I was told I would never have children.
Wow.
Even into
That's a beautiful
the
thing.
second or third year. And that was something that I brought into the marriage. Ronnie did not know all of the trauma, the both emotional and physical trauma that I had. So I was always told by the doctors that I would never bear children. So I think I was 5 or 6 months pregnant with Maya before I knew I was pregnant.
Wow.
Still having a cycle, everything. We were actually getting ready to go out for my birthday, and I had like the worst stomach pains. And Ronnie ended up taking me to the emergency room, and they were like, well, when did your last cycle? And I'm like, just had it. And they were like, are you on birth control? I'm like, on birth control and everything. And they were like, well, let's just run some tests, look at your ACG levels and all of that. And he came back and he was like, ma'am, you're pregnant. I said, the devil is a lie.
Right.
Like, I can't be pregnant. I can't get pregnant. This wasn't just something like a one time. Like, I had always been told I would never be able to bear kids. So thankfully, our oldest was born, and she came into the world healthy. She is healthy. We decided we wanted to try again. We did struggle for about 2.5 years to get pregnant with Layla. And no one prepares you when your child has a health issue.
Oh, yeah.
And so our middle daughter had a 30-minute seizure out of the blue when she was about 13 months old. And the doctors were like, you will never talk. She will never walk. She would never be a healthy child. They gave us like this really big, thick binder of resources that we were going to need to order a chair. She was going to need special bus services. All these CDs to talk about seizures, because when she had the seizure, they found this brain mass. And I was like, okay, is the brain mass the reason why she had the seizure? And they're like, no, we don't know why she had the seizure, but we want to go in and we want to operate. And I remember standing on the ledge of the hospital roof and wanting to jump.
Yeah.
Because you're like, did I overstress when I was pregnant?
Yeah.
Did I not get enough rest? Did I not take care of myself? Did I miss too many of my prenatal vitamins? Like, is this something from my childhood? Am I being punished by God? You just, all those things race into your head.
Lord, you're going to have to give me the tissue too.
I know. Man.
No, I can.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
Because you're taught to just trust the doctors, and nothing against the doctors because they were doing their job.
Right.
But there is a fine line between being a parent and having to make a decision, a life decision about your child. But we opted not to do the surgery.
Thank God.
And what we found out was that it was just a clump of cells. I can't tell you the medical term, but it was just a clump of cells. It just didn't really fully develop. But it sat like right behind her eye. So had something go wrong, she could have potentially been blind. Fast forward, she's ran track, she's done cheer, she's done volleyball, she's ran from getting whoopings. She's walking, talking, she's
Man,
sassy.
you know what's crazy? The next day,
Yeah, she
we
asked
were
for
in the
apple juice.
hospital.
Yeah,
And the next day, she was back to herself,
yeah.
her normal
Wow.
self. Because I remember getting the call. It was the first day of my spring break, and I was driving to the city. And I got off on Glenwood Avenue. I remember it just like it was yesterday. It took me 30 minutes to get back to where she was over in Ellenwood. And when I saw her, her eyes were in the back of her head. And I didn't think that she would be the same after that. But yeah, after getting that doom and gloom diagnosis, she was back to her normal self the next day.
Yeah.
And we had to go over the next 3 or so years to get MRIs and carry around this
Wow.
triliptal
7
that
years.
had to be
7 years.
7 years
Yeah.
of sedated MRIs every month.
Wow.
Every
Had to
month.
carry around this pen that if someone was watching, so no one wanted to watch her, because if she had another one, it had to be administered through her rectum.
Yeah.
So like we had to give this
Pre-spill.
that scared the
Right.
living
Yeah.
Jesus out of anybody. Like, I don't want that pressure.
I'm sorry, you can't
Like,
go to the
you know.
movies. I can't be responsible for this.
But then let's also talk about that also created a fork in us as husband and wife, because now we're solely focused on staying up watching her,
Yes.
that we've now neglected
Each
he
other.
and I, not
Yeah.
consciously,
Yes.
but just subconsciously, because you're trying to be a parent and not also realizing we still have a marriage. We still have a relationship that we need to nurture.
Yeah.
So,
And yeah, I mean, and to piggyback on that, you know, even with us conceiving Ramaya within the first 3 months of our marriage, right? We spent our first year of marriage preparing to be parents. So Ramaya comes, and then 4 years later we have Layla, and then we embark into this unknown journey of this medical condition that she was experiencing. And I'm sure Venus is going to talk about Trey and some of the health issues that things she had to encounter. It was just it was a lot going on that required so much of our attention to be fragmented.
yeah.
And then realizing, man, we looked up at one point where we've always been intentional about trying to get family time. We had looked up at one point, and it had been 10 years since we had done anything, just the two
The two
of us.
of you.
Yeah.
But we had Layla. She had this prognosis.
Then we
She's
decided
grew
to
out of
be
that.
intentional
Yeah.
and get pregnant again. And I had 2 miscarriages back to back. And after the second miscarriage, I could not pass them. So I had to have 2 DNCs back to back. And unfortunately, after I had the second DNC, some of the fetus was still remained. And I had to have a third DNC because my body was going through some type of rejection. And I just knew then, I was just like, I don't ever want to have any more kids. Like, not that we were really trying, but you just think like, you know, you get married, you do the right thing, right? You work, you provide, you're supposed to procreate, have kids. And then you get these challenges that no one can prepare you for.
Right.
And, you know, I'm really grateful that we were able to work together, as difficult as it was, because I don't know how we made it. I think we were just surviving.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you look back on that from this point in the road and turn around and say, whoa, I'm not sure how that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
But God.
But God.
But God.
Right.
man.
But God.
And as women, a lot of times I feel like we don't allow each other the space to talk about those things. I've experienced DNCs. Like I've
Yeah.
experienced that. And the pain, you know, not just emotional, but the physical pain. And like all of the things that does to you.
Yeah.
You just have to press on.
Yeah.
You get up the next day, you have things to do, you have kids to care for you.
But that guilt, it comes back and it shows up.
It does.
And
very
then,
much.
And then you have the resentment, because you're like, if I hadn't been doing this, if I'm not doing this, if I'm not doing that, it shows up.
It does.
It shows up. So.
And so how did having Ronnie as a partner, how did that play into your being able to move through that?
I really do think we have 2 phenomenal people in our lives that are godsend. Reverend Lorraine and Michael Forrester. They are counselors. They are Christian counselors, but not that you need to be a Christian to see them.
Right, right.
They do pastoral counseling. They also do grief counseling. They also do individual counseling. But I had to go and get therapy. I really did. And in that therapy, I think that this is normal. I really resented Ronnie because automatically you're like, well, if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have had a miscarriage. Or if I had done that, maybe we were arguing. Maybe we were doing too much of this, that you just, the person closest to you tends to get the blame.
Of course.
And it wasn't anything of his fault. It's just, that's how it worked out.
And that's sort of where you feel safe to put your hurt
Exactly.
and to put your things, because you know that they're going to be there and love you
It's
regardless.
the easiest escape.
Yeah.
It's the easiest escape. And so working through that grief, I think the first
and I
one,
love that you say that grief, because that's really what it is.
it is. It is. And not to say that anyone ever wants to lose a child through miscarriage, but it happens more so than we talk about.
Absolutely.
And I think people shun on others like, oh my God, maybe if you weren't wearing 5-inch heels, you wouldn't have had a miscarriage, or,
we tend to do that in society.
We blame other women
Yes.
without realizing that it happens more than we talk about and more than people really, want to share. And
Yeah.
and I don't say this lightly, but I say that I have found that everything really do happens for a reason. I don't know why we experienced 2 losses, but we were blessed to bring a third and our final child, Ronnie, into the world, and he is my bestie. Yes.
I'm going to tell you, my grandmother, because like you were talking about how you didn't know you were pregnant, you got your period, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't married. I was 19 and in college, but I had a boyfriend, and I just was like, and I'd had a boyfriend for 2 years, and all my friends, like, they were in college. There were different guys every weekend. And I was like, I'm not doing that kind of stuff. Like, we're careful. We use protection. I'm on the pill. Like, I'm religious. I do what I'm supposed to do. Like, how did this happen? And it was like devastating. I thought my life was over. This was not the plan.
Yeah.
And my grandmother said, and I still think about it to this day when I don't understand why things happen the way they happen. And she just told me, she kept saying, all things work for good for those who love the Lord. I know you can't see that now,
Right.
but all things work for good.
Indeed.
In the end.
Indeed, they do.
Yeah. So
Indeed, they do.
it's, it's,
We have to develop the eyes to see it, though. I think that comes with time through lived experiences.
Indeed.
and I think the grief too, you talk about grief, and you shared about your middle daughter's health problems. There's grief in that too.
Indeed. Because you still blame yourself.
Yes.
And you still wonder,
this wasn't
like,
the life I wanted for her. You grieve what your hopes.
Yeah.
And,
And then too, one thing that we realized, which I didn't know, was, and I don't even think Ronnie knew, was when Layla had the seizure, we found out that his dad was epileptic. And this was not something that I knew prior to getting married. And most people say, well, I want to know everything. But sometimes when you have deceased family members, you don't think, right? Like, you're not saying, hey, does bipolar exist in your family? Does depression exist in your family? Those are things you just don't ask. But then we realized that was something that was on, his father's side of the family. Nothing that we could have done about it. I still would have married him because it may or may not have happened, but it was something that we were able to correlate that this was a genetic factor in our family genes. And so we're just grateful that she is normal.
Indeed.
She's not beautiful.
Thriving.
She's getting ready to go to college and major in nursing. So her neurologist, phenomenal. We have been trying to track down Dr. Anna Jans. She was over at CHOA here in Atlanta, and she fell in love with Layla. And Layla fell in love with her compassion, her bedside manners. I mean, she was just the best doctor. And that propelled Layla to want to do nursing.
That's awesome.
So if you're listening and you know Dr. Anna Jan, she's now a director in the Emory Healthcare Network. Let her know that we would love to connect Layla back with her.
Yes.
That's awesome. I want you guys to take away from this. Like, it's inspiring to watch you. Like, even as you're talking and you're getting emotional, like, to see him, like, support you just by putting his hand on you and rubbing your back.
He's the best.
Like, and I can tell you, even when you're not in the room, the way he speaks of you and the way his face like lights up when he talks about you is just, it's something I think every woman wants.
Indeed.
A partner to feel like about them.
And I think the most important thing is...
Now, he lucky too, don't get me wrong now.
Right.
Indeed.
Every woman wants to feel safe.
Yes.
And safe does not mean the alarm is on, the doors are locked.
No.
You want to feel safe with your emotions.
Yes.
You want to feel safe even when you're having a disagreement that we may not like each other in the moment, but it's safe enough to say, you know what? dude, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do we move forward? And don't get me wrong, we weren't always
We've
there.
not always been there, Coach.
We're not
It's
always
been a
been
lot
there.
of cussing and door slamming. It's been a lot of couches.
And eating breakfast, and I didn't make you anything.
And not talking for days. So hold on, God.
Yeah, it wasn't always easy.
If y'all listening out there, please know it has not always been there. But like I told Venus, I don't think we've even scratched the surface of our relationship. And we've been together 23 years. And we have not even scratched the surface because, as we've been talking about, so much of our time has been focused on
the
kids and the careers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we talk, you know, I'm going to get to that, right? But we have this pie chart, this visual pie chart. We look at how many hours we sleep a day, how many hours we work, how many hours we dedicate to commuting and business and kids. And like you have a little sliver of the pie that we really are intentional about being together. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't require a bunch of money, but just being intentional about making time. So this year was our first year doing R&V, a retreat.
I was going to say, what is this?
Ronnie and Venus retreat.
Yeah.
R&V.
So we got a hotel. We stayed local this year. We're going to try to go different places, but the concept is to spend a couple of days together to goal set, to reflect over the year.
Our marriage plan.
We had a marriage plan, you know, identify areas of, you know, financial, spiritual. Like this has been a really amazing season, man. We started reading the Bible together every day, which has led to other conversations. So I'm excited about what's ahead. I believe that we can grab each other's hand and drop out the plane and we're going to be okay. My prayer is that we both get to a point to where we're able to do what we do in our businesses full time and create the life that we want together, because my wife is extremely exceptional in what she does. And I have 110,000% confidence and faith in what she does. And I can't wait to see that day come to where she's able to do what gives her the most fulfillment. And we able to really enjoy this time, man. We spend so much time, and there's nothing, I get it, you know, but we give so much of ourselves to our jobs and to everything else. Yep. And when we come home, you know, it's in passing. Like there's no intentional. There's no, you know, we give
with the flow.
We give the best of ourselves to other people.
Yeah.
In many cases, you know what I'm saying? And we just come home and we want to just pop that bra off, as my wife say.
Yep.
She wants to just pop that bra off and just be. And that, you know, that's on the couch, that's watching TV, that's scrolling.
Yeah.
You know, but we just really trying to work the muscle. So we're gonna write a book one day. How to avoid a pot-belly marriage, right? When you don't go to the gym, you get one of these pot bellies.
Yeah.
Right? But when you work that muscle, you know what I'm saying? So marriage is like a muscle. So how do you avoid a pot-belly marriage? And that comes from being intentional and working the muscle. So the best is yet to come, folks. But just know,
stay tuned,
that it ain't over, man. We have not scratched the surface. So I'm excited about what's coming ahead.
Well, thank you guys for sharing with us and being so vulnerable. You know, I just think that there are parents out there who are surviving.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Just like you talked about. And so I hope that this reaches somebody, and, you know, just to remember you're not alone.
You're not.
You know, nobody has this parenting thing figured out.
We don't.
And just stay in there, stay committed, and stay engaged with your kids.
Make the time. Live, laugh, and love.
That's right. We'll see you next time on Unrattled.
Peace.
This podcast has been a production of Gulf Regional Early Childhood Services. The views and opinions expressed by their guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Gulf Regional Early Childhood Services, its staff, partners, or funders. This podcast is intended to inform, inspire, and encourage thoughtful conversations about parenting and child development. It is not a substitute for professional medical, mental health, legal, educational, or other individualized advice. Because every child and every family is unique, we encourage listeners to consult qualified professionals regarding their own circumstances. Thank you for listening and for joining us as we learn, grow, and navigate this complicated world together.